My name's Jason, this is the WDS Originals YouTube channel, and this is our V10 swapped E92 M3 that we're going to be running on a MaxxECU. Now the reason we need to run a MaxxECU on this car is because we also need to control the DCT gearbox along with that V10. And those of you that watched last week's episode will know that we're currently deep in that wiring process trying to get this car set up. And if you haven't seen last week's episode, head down to the description and you'll find a link to the playlist which will enable you to catch up on the build. And those of you that did watch last week's episode will probably remember us setting all the lengths for the trigger wires, then adding the 5 and 12 volt power supplies along with all those ground wires. We also dealt with the chassis side of this loom, repinning the BMW plugs into Deutsch connectors so that we could simply connect and disconnect this engine harness with ease. Once this was done for both the engine side and the chassis side of the loom, it was time to take this loom off of the engine and move it across to the bench for the next steps. The next steps in this process was adding the sheathing for the loom and then that all important heat shrink to hold it all together. Once this was complete, Adil took the loom home and started pinning the plugs and adding the labels. Now before we jump into today's video, if you don't currently subscribe to the channel, can I ask you to do us a massive favour and hit that subscribe button. It keeps me motivated and also allows the channel to continue to grow and hopefully enables us to continue with these epic builds. Again, today we're going to be joined by Adil, who has just brought us a lovely present in the form of this loom, and it's now around 75% complete, and today we're going to finish it. We need to add things like the BSD board and finalise everything on this loom.
Here it comes. Yeah, you disappeared. What's up?
You said you gotta go because you got wiring to do.
No, we didn't say we had to go, but we were on the phone while we were wiring. Trim some of that.
Just, I think it's going to be a bit of a Frankenstein chopping them together. Well, I'm going to leave you to it because I know it's a bit fiddly with wiring and shit. So,
Yeah, we
just ping us a message later or something if you want.
Go on, mate. I'll speak to you in a bit.
I'll catch you boys in a bit.
Layers. Beautiful. Look at that.
That's all it took was a tip change. Make sure you cut down the video to this 10 seconds it took us to do the job.
Yeah, that's it. That got me in class.
It's not the first time we've had that. So if you want to get a picture or video around that just to show them soldered.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So there it is, that BSD communication board is now all wired in. This should mean things like the factory oil level sensor and everything will work on my dash. Given that this engine loom is pretty much complete, other than tidying up some of the chassis side of the loom, we're now on to running the injector and coil pack loom that we're running on a separate plug. So as you can see, Adil's in here currently working out the exact routings of how we're going to do so. Next. Getting stingy with this heat shrink, aren't you?
I'm just putting too much on it. I really only needs to cover the copper there a bit. Yeah, 100%.
Come in. Quick tug test. Golden. Happy?
I pulled too hard.
Oh, you're holding it.
Flick too hard, goddammit.
Happy?
Yeah.
Done. And that was all the wires finally run. All that was left was for Adil to take these home and add the plugs and all the labels. And now there was only one final thing left to do before we could put this loom on the car for good. And all I needed to do was do the final few heat shrinks. And that's simply because Adil's heat gun decided to give up the ghost just as he was finishing off. So with this footage, although I could claim all the fame, I'd like to just take a moment to give Adil a massive shout out and say once again a huge thank you for all your work on this loom and also on this build in general. This car simply wouldn't have come together without Adil, and I think we can all agree that this loom looks absolutely spectacular. Now, as much as this loom satisfies my OCD and I'd love to leave it on the side, it was time to actually install it on the E92, and this was going to be the final fit. So I needed to do this nicely and route every wire properly and take my time doing so. This meant raising the car and going underneath and also working from above. The other thing this meant was an incredibly bad back for the next few days. I was leant over this car like this for quite some time, trying to get this all set up properly and look perfect so this lovely loom would blend but also be a subtle flex. And now, as you can see, this wiring harness fits absolutely beautifully. Yes, we've still got a lot of pipe work that needs connecting, but the actual wiring harness itself, oh, doesn't that just look beautiful? To me though, the biggest thing this does is confirms that it was so worth all that time and effort. And believe me, I was not done yet. I still had a few plans to make a few bits extra tidy. Now, I'm not an overly spiritually connected kind of guy, nor am I superstitious, but there was something about the birds chirping away, almost like I was getting a round of applause from nature. And it was at this point that I was able to take a step back and realise just how much hard work had gone into this project, and the fact that we were now on the home run. That engine had been finally fitted and bolted in properly, the harness was connected, and now it was time to start finalising everything on this build. Now, I don't want this to come across as beggy, but a lot of you guys that watch regularly don't actually subscribe. So if you could do us a massive favour and hit that subscribe button, as I said earlier, it massively helps the channel grow. With that, let's jump straight back in. Now, what you can see here is the air intake temperature sensor and the airbox. Now, thankfully for us, there was a spare blanking plate on the back of this airbox that if I drilled and tapped a thread into, I'd be able to simply screw this sensor in. Now, fortunately for me, this sensor had a larger aperture than the hole in the airbox. The hole in the airbox measured 11.5mm and this sensor was approximately 12mm. We then measured the thread pitch so that we could get the correct tap and die, confirmed this against the sensor, and then started tapping into this airbox. So whilst I'm working away, I thought I'd give you guys a bit of an explanation. The reason we need this air intake temperature sensor is because we've done away with the MAFs. Now, the MAFs, also known as mass airflow sensors, record quite a few things on the factory ECU, one of which being the air intake temperature. So this sensor is a direct replacement for that, as we no longer need those MAFs, as our ECU is capable of tuning this car without the MAFs, as long as we have this sensor. That also means that we have more room up front for our carbon air intakes, which you may have seen earlier. If you haven't, check these out. These should make some awesome noises on this V10 and give us that extra clearance we need. So with that sensor now installed and a quick little cleanup, it's time to go and put these airboxes or plenums, depending upon how you classify them, back on the car. Now, one thing that's really quite cool about this setup is that I could use that air intake temperature sensor as a reference and go open trumpets. Now, at the moment, this is not a priority, as I do like the look of the standard plenum and the idea of my carbon air intakes. But in the near future, if I ever wanted to go open trumpets, this is now an option. Now, whilst we're on a roll with these sensors, why not deal with the oil pressure sensor, which is one of the last sensors in the Loom that needs addressing. Now, this is my remote filter head, which obviously has that oil filter and replaces the standard unit. Now, that standard BMW oil filter housing normally contains an oil pressure sensor. So because we've done away with this, we needed to add our own, and obviously we incorporated that as part of our engine loom. Now, this will all get bolted up a little bit later, but that should give you the general idea. Now, we've also added another sensor that is not factory on this engine. We've remote mounted this Vanos accumulator pressure sensor for our own reference. This is something that commonly fails on these V10s, and if the pressure drops here, your Vanos doesn't operate properly. And believe it or not, these run between 1000 and 2000 psi.
Has it got enough pressure? Yeah, 1000 psi is fine.
So it's quite a good thing for us to keep an eye on inside that ECU, seeing as we have the ability to do so. And one of the last things we needed to do to finalise this ECU installation was rebuild my interior. As you can see, we've got the ECU on the right hand side, all the wiring's now nicely tucked, and you can see all the interior trims are back on. Now, I just want to thank you guys at home for making it this far, and of course invite you to watch next week's video where we're going to be rebuilding this V10 E92 up for the final time and hopefully calibrating bits in order to have this car started very, very soon. And of course, if you guys are enjoying the content, you know what to do, hit that subscribe button and join us next week. For now, I'll leave it at that, and I look forward to seeing you soon.